Hello guys and welcome to episode 4 of my season challenge series on F1 2012, and as you can see I've got a new rival. It's John-Eric Vergne in the Toro Rosso. I lost my rival challenge against Pastor Maldonado. Over the first 3 races I finished ahead of him in one race and he finished ahead of me in the other 2, which means that I didn't take his seat at Williams, so I've gone for what I think is a more realistic target in John-Eric Vergne in the Toro Rosso. And race 4, as you may have guessed already, is the Canadian Grand Prix at the Gilles Villeneuve circuit in Montreal, and this is my qualifying lap. I haven't been doing these one of the Rival Challenge Series videos for a while, mainly for a reason that I talked about in my previous video, where I talk about F1 2013 and what I hope is going to come from that. But I am going to try and get a few more of these done now, because one thing as well is that it kind of got off to a slow start in the first three races, but it picks up. I'd say from here on, I start to drive better, and the tracks are more ones that I enjoy. Starting here with Canada, because this is one of my favourite tracks in the game, I'd say. And then the next race is the US Grand Prix, which is another track I quite like. So, yeah, things are going to start to pick up. And this is me coming towards the end of my lap, which has gone okay. I'm close behind Alonso, who's the fastest man. And we'll just see how close as we come over the line now. And I'm P7, behind the 2 Lotuses of Raikkonen and Grosjean. I think I'm a long way ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne. Yep, 9 places ahead of him on the grid, so that's a good start. Hopefully from there I can hold on to that and win the first race in the rival challenge against him. This is, like I said, one of my favourite circuits on the game. It has been pretty much every year that Codemasters have done F1. They seem to get it right here, and it's just an enjoyable track anyway. In general, it's one of the better tracks in F1, and certainly one of the most enjoyable to race on against. Excuse me, against the computer or against online. So we're going onto the grid now for the start of the race, and see how we can do from P7 in the Canadian Grand Prix as it just loads up. And there's Alonso on pole with 2 Red Bulls obviously behind him. I've got Button behind me in P8, and I think it's Massa then behind him in P9. There you can see Hamilton's in 4th behind the 2 Red Bulls. So here we go for the start. Can I get away from the grid well? That looks like a decent start. No loss of traction, and I'm alongside Grosjean on the inside, but I back off a bit into the first corner because Raikkonen was right in front of me, and Vettel looks like he's got into the lead, and Hamilton and Alonso are alongside each other, and I'm alongside Grosjean, but again I back out a bit into the chicane, and looking like I'm going to make a move up the inside, and I make it stick and nearly hit Raikkonen and nearly hit him again. And that's allowed Grosjean to come back up the inside of me. And I've moved down into P7, but I've gone around the outside of Grosjean and I make it stick and keep off the grass, so that's P6 in between the 2 Lotuses. And it wants me to finish in the top 6. So if I can just hold on to that position, I'll have achieved my race objective as well as beating Jean-Eric Vergne for the rival challenge, and getting a fair amount of points as well for P6, as long as I can hold on to this, because if Grosjean can stay close to me, that's a long DRS zone there, and I've slid into the wall out of the last chicane. But yeah, if I can just keep him at bay in the DRS zone, then hopefully I can hold on and finish in the top 6. The most important thing really is that I beat Jean-Eric Vergne. He's a long way behind. Look at that, he's 19th now. and that's the priority, but because that looks like it's pretty much set in stone already, I'm looking to really have a good race and finish in the top 6 and maybe hang on to Kimi Räikkönen, who's 1.3 seconds ahead of me after the first sector. And Grosjean's quite close behind me, although he's not going to get DRS on this lap because it's only lap 2 out of 3. So if I can, although I've gone really wide there through the chicane, through the hairpin rather, but I've managed to keep him behind me. And that's allowed Räikkönen to pull away substantially now. And Grosjean's having a small look up the inside, but he doesn't go through with the move as I go wide and hit the wall again out of that last chicane, which is a difficult corner to get right on this track sometimes, I find. If you brake slightly late for that corner, it's a struggle then to not hit the wall. And of course if you skip the chicane, the computer does this strange thing in F1 2012 where you go off the track and it slows you right down, which is bizarre. I don't know why they've added that to the game, but that's what it does. And I go a bit wide through the chicane, which compromises my exit a bit. And I can't even see Räikkönen now. But Grosjean is still right behind me, and he's going to have DRS on the back straight if he stays this close, which I think he will. Unless, can I get a good exit out of the chicane, because I'm going to use my KERS. Räikkönen 4.5 seconds ahead, and I'm going slower than my best time through that sector, which is disappointing, but I've seemed to have pulled away from Grosjean a bit. Is that going to be enough to protect me from the DRS? Well, he's pulled up, he's closed in massively, but his closing speed was mighty there, but then he didn't seem to be able to make the move stick. Fairly typical for the AI really, that they seem hesitant to make the overtaking manoeuvre. And Räikkönen's done the fastest lap, which is a full 2 seconds quicker than my best. So that explains why he's pulling away, but now it's showing Alonso in P5. So he must have gone off somewhere. And that will have allowed Räikkönen up to 4th. But I remember at the start, Vettel overtook Alonso at the start of the race to take the lead, so that's not a lead change. I think Alonso might have been already down to 3rd, because I think Hamilton overtook him as well. But only a couple of laps to go now, and I've just got to hold on to this and I'll have achieved my race objective. And Grosjean looks a bit further away coming into the chicane, and I've gone quite a lot quicker in the first 2 sectors. So this could be a quicker lap, and that was quite neat and tidy through the hairpin. I keep saying it's the chicane, it's not. It's the hairpin down there at the bottom of the circuit, and then this long straight that takes you back up towards near to the finish line before this last chicane, which slows you down for the pit straight. And I take that reasonably well. Now heading for the line to start the last lap. And then 118.2, and now Räikkönen has lost a lot of time. He must have gone off, because he's now in P5. So Alonso will have moved up. And it'll be interesting to see what this gap is after the first sector, because he doesn't look that far ahead, does Kimi Räikkönen. It's 1.2, and I'm the fastest man on the circuit as well. So maybe I've still got a chance here to overtake Räikkönen, although I'm always slow in the second sector, slower than the computer anyway. And I've gone a bit wide, which doesn't help. Doesn't help my cause, and that's allowed Grosjean to close in on me a bit. And Räikkönen now basically 2 seconds clear. And I go a little bit wide through the chicane. Am I going to be able to hold off Grosjean? He's 6/10 behind me. And he will close up in the DRS zone, but will it be enough? Nope. Looks like I have this position sealed, although I nearly went wide and hit the wall, but I managed to stay on the track. And that's going to be the end of this race. And I've finished in P6, so I've achieved my race objective, and I've beaten Jean-Eric Vergne. in the rival challenge as well. So a good race there and a good haul of points. My first points of this season. And Vettel won, as you can see, from Hamilton and Webber. And Alonso 4th, Raikkonen 5th, me 6th, Grosjean 7th, Schumacher 8th, Button 9th, Rosberg 10th, and Massa out of the points in 11th. Jean-Eric Vergne back in 19th place, Kovalainen 19th, De Resta 20th, which is surprising. And then the usual back markers. And yep, that gives me 8 points, my first points of this season. Puts me in 11th in the standings, a long way behind Hamilton, who's leading by 22 points from Vettel, and I didn't see how many points Webber was behind him. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you for part 5, which is the US Grand Prix.